The European Union has adopted a suite of regulations for the digital economy, most recently on artificial intelligence. Politicians and enforcers here have declared with pride that global first regulations for digital markets and AI provide robust and enforceable frameworks for innovation, investments, markets, and civil society. Many have asked why, with several new layers of regulation, why are antitrust enforcers across the EU now sounding alarm bells around AI? Have not these new tools removed the need for antitrust enforcers to worry? These are good as well as big questions, and I will cover them from 4 angles. First, over the past decade, the European Commission brought a number of antitrust enforcement cases in the digital economy. These cases concerned, for instance, online search and advertising, app stores and payments, and marketplaces. Very substantial fines were imposed, remedial changes to market conduct was ordered, and private parties pursue civil damages claims. But the Commission and EU lawmakers concluded that some issues in the digital economy are systemic and they need to be addressed upfront by regulation. This resulted in the Digital Markets Act, the DMA. Second, the DMA imposes specific rules for gatekeepers that the Commission identifies in respect of their so-called core platform services. In September last year, the Commission designated 6 companies as gatekeepers and 22 of their core platform services. One goal of the DMA is to cut the long investigation times that are inherent in antitrust cases. And in March of this year, a few weeks after gatekeepers should comply with the DMA's rules, the Commission started non-compliance investigations into 3 of them. These investigations should be completed within a year. The DMA doesn't refer to artificial intelligence, but it may still be relevant. Gatekeepers have broad obligations to provide the Commission with information on their M&A deals. Also, if targets are active in AI, and some of those deals may be called in for merger review. Gatekeeper acquirers must naturally factor this in, but also sellers and targets in the sector. In addition, some core platform services may be utilizing AI technology, and if so, the Commission's compliance investigations may come to involve also AI-powered services. Third, the AI Act was hailed as the first comprehensive and binding law on AI. It was adopted only recently, is expected to enter into force in the coming months, and take full effect in the years ahead. But this law doesn't regulate competition between firms. It's designated to provide general guardrails and establishes obligations for AI based on potential risks and level of impact. It also confirms supervisory and enforcement powers to the European Commission and national authorities. While the AI Act doesn't regulate competition, it sets up a system for information exchange between AI sector authorities and competition enforcers. That system of information exchange can become an important source of information for antitrust investigations. But what scope is there then to apply EU antitrust law? Well, the sector-specific rules coexist with the general antitrust rules. Not all firms are gatekeepers for the DMA, and not all services that they provide are core platform services covered by that law. The AI Act doesn't regulate competition, but the well-established framework for EU antitrust law remains. The EU merger regulation applies to deals. The treaty provisions apply to restrictive practices and abuse of dominant positions. What is different for AI is the sense of urgency among antitrust enforcers. They have admitted as much in public. Over the past months, antitrust enforcers have embarked on fact-finding missions targeting the AI sector as a whole, but also certain collaborations and investments made by large tech companies. There is wide recognition that the competitive landscape for generative AI is nascent and taking shape. But agencies also take the view that it is already clear that the impact of these technologies is wide-ranging and transformational. They fear, as they have done in other tech markets, antitrust risks related to entrenchment and certain business practices which are difficult to reverse after the fact. For these reasons, antitrust enforcers hope to quickly get ahead of the curve and understand what matters for competition and what doesn't. That's perhaps not surprising, but it confirms that the EU's regulatory ambition goes beyond the DMA and the AI Act, and it includes future antitrust enforcement intention. Firms need to be aware of this and also prepared to engage actively with antitrust agencies in order to secure their business goals around AI.